We haven't done many stories about boxers, but there's good reason to do one now. Next Saturday, there will be a fight in Dallas featuring a 31-year-old Filipino who is, quite simply, the best boxer in the world today. His name is Manny Pacquiao, and he's generating excitement not seen in the ring since Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, or Muhammad Ali. Incredibly, Manny, or Pacman as he's called, holds world champion titles in 7 weight divisions, from 105 pounds to 148. That's never been done before. And on Saturday, he'll be going for his 8th title. In the Philippines, he's an obsession. Everybody watches every fight. When he's in the ring, the insurgents call a ceasefire in their running battle with the Philippine army. They're not risking anything. The soldiers are watching too.
The story will continue in a moment.
What psychs out his opponents even before the fight begins is the way Manny walks down that aisle, smiling, not a care in the world, going to a dance, not a duel. I've never seen a fighter walk towards the ring smiling. Are you just doing that? Is it a tactic, or are you really happy?
That's me. I'm always smiling.
Super flyweight champion of the world, the reigning and defending.
Every announcer in the world can pronounce his name now, and they dwell on it longer than they used to.
Manny Pacman Pacquiao.
He's more than a fighter, he's a phenomenon. He is equally brutal with his left and his right.
And a beautiful combination.
Always hammering boxers a lot larger than he is. He ducks and he dances. It doesn't disturb him when he gets hit, because retaliation is instant.
It's better than I thought.
Down again. And now he might be out this time. That's it.
After a fight, Manny always goes down on his knees in prayer. That's the closest he ever gets to the canvas. Just how good is Manny Pacquiao?
I think that Manny Pacquiao is the best fighter that I have ever seen.
Bob Arum has promoted many of the world's great fighters, including the greatest.
I did 25 fights for Ali.
And you're saying that Manny Pacquiao is a greater fighter than Muhammad Ali?
Yes, he is, because Muhammad Ali was essentially a one-handed fighter. Manny Pacquiao really shocks these fighters because he hits equally hard from the left side and the right side.
Most boxers are born poor. Manny was born hungry. He grew up in the unpaved alleys of a forlorn city called General Santos. His single mother had 6 children to support. They often missed school to help her sell cigarettes in the streets. But like many youngsters determined to get out of these slums, Manny would often disappear. He had a secret. When you started boxing, you didn't tell your mother you were starting boxing, did you?
No. She doesn't want me to box.
She didn't want you to box.
Yes.
She wanted him to be a priest. He wanted to play basketball. But basketball didn't bring in bread. Boxing did. How much?
100 pesos,
100 pesos.
which is equivalent to $2.
$2. $2 to box.
Yes. But
And what are you making now?
millions.
General Santos churns out a remarkable number of champions because boxing is the only way for these poor kids to make a little money. But the $2 Manny was earning wasn't feeding his family. So when he turned 14, he left home to try for more. He stowed away in a boat to Manila and ended up in the street, doing odd jobs by day and training in a rundown gym by night. He slept wherever he could, sometimes in the gym, sometimes in the street, but always dreaming of becoming a professional boxer. But the dream seemed, frankly, preposterous. He had no technique, His punches were wide and wild, and he was too young and skinny to even qualify for a professional fight. So he came up with a plan. Before your first fight, you weighed 98 pounds?
Yes, the fighting weight is, the minimum weight is 105 pounds.
You weighed 98 and the minimum was 105?
Yes, so I think to put a heavy things in my pocket.
You put heavy things in your pocket?
Just to make the 105.
And it worked?
It worked, yes. I was 16 years old.
Manny won that fight, and the little upstart, 4'11", kept on winning. Soon he was the world flyweight champion. The prize money bought him a ticket to Hollywood. He ended up here at the Wild Card Gym, perched above a laundromat and an Alcoholics Anonymous center. It's run by trainer Freddie Roach, a legend in the boxing world, who hasn't slowed down even though he suffers from Parkinson's disease. He agreed to do one round with Manny to see if he was worth a second. When did you first realize that Manny was more than a really good boxer, that he was going to be champion?
You know, that first round really told me something. I mean,
Already the first round?
First round, because I never saw somebody with so much explosion on a punch. Bang, 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 just like a gun firing off. I never saw that in my life. And I've been with a lot of good fighters.
That's an understatement. Roach has been with 28 world champions, including Mike Tyson and superstar Oscar de la Hoya, famous for his left hook, his smarts, and his pretty face. Was Manny ready for him? Manny's supporters were scared he would be massacred.
There was even a bill introduced in the Philippine legislature to ban the fight, to prevent Manny from leaving the country to participate in the fight because he would be annihilated.
The bill was defeated.
They call this a dream fight, a good dream, a bad dream, an exciting dream. Let's find out.
In the first few rounds, Manny was doing surprisingly well.
Manny Pacquiao is annihilating Oscar de la Hoya.
Maybe it was De La Hoya's strategy. Wait a while, then go in for the kill. But it didn't seem to be working out that way.
Manny Pacquiao is gradually reconfiguring De La Hoya's beautiful face.
Death by 1,000 left hands.
By the ninth round, Oscar de la Hoya not only quit the match, he quit boxing. And Manny, his name was getting even longer.
Manny Pacman Pacquiao.
I mean, he was such a handsome guy, and you turned his face into a nightmare. How did you feel?
That's boxing. You have to understand. I have to understand. It's part of the game.
And Manny's game mesmerizes the Philippines. Tens of millions watches every fight, in halls, in bars, in the streets. The crime rate plummets to zero. The criminals and the cops take the night off.
There is nobody in the Philippines, nobody who is not watching Manny Pacquiao fight, and there must be blind Filipinos and they're listening.
And after every fight, the ecstasy becomes close to uncontrollable. The festivities stream through the streets of Manila, bringing people the sweetest joys in their often impoverished lives. And when he isn't in the ring, he's everywhere. Manny is an icon, a businessman, and a brand. He has his own shopping mall, his own pool hall. Manny loves playing for high stakes. He has $30,000 on this game. But his biggest gamble so far was to stand for public office. Last May, He ran for a seat in the Filipino Congress and campaigned as hard as he trained. Policy was not the priority. He began the fight as an underdog, but as he had done so many times before, he murdered his opponent. You know, one thing though, if you're serious about politics, don't you think it's about time you stopped getting hit in the head?
I already achieved my goals in boxing, my dreams in boxing. And what I want to achieve more is in public service, you know. I want to be a champion there.
But Manny hasn't quit boxing. Not yet. Saturday, he'll be fighting former welterweight champion Antonio Margarito before 70,000 spectators at Cowboy Stadium. Margarito will be a lot heavier than Manny, 5 inches taller, and in the best shape of his life. And Manny?
All right, you stay focused, it'll be no problem at all.
He's been pounding the pavement, pounding the punching bags, and doing 2 hours in the ring without a single break. But Freddie Roach says, despite appearances, he's not training the way he used to. Manny's distracted, he says, by politics, and could lose the fight.
I've had anxiety attacks over this. I'm worried about it, yes. Okay, I'm walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning, something's not right. We're not preparing as the way we should for this fight.
Have you said this to Manny?
Of course.
You told Manny that he could lose the fight?
If he keeps on the road he's going, yes.
But Manny's been on the road, always moving forward, since he stowed away on that ferry to Manila. So now he's a champion and a congressman. What makes anyone think he'll stop there? Do you ever think you might one day, you're smiling already, you know what I'm going to ask you?
I know.
Okay, do you think one day you might be president?
It's hard to have a comment right now because it's that far away.
Spoken like a true politician.
Yes, we are proud.
A boxer as president of a nation of 94 million? Now that would be history. But then again, Manny thinks he's made history already. Who do you think is the greatest boxer ever?
Including me?
Including you.
Of course, me.